The show's title is called Almost Island, which is a direct translation of peninsula, and it really has its investigative origins in this area called Doggerland, which is the land bridge that linked the British Isles with mainland Europe 10,000 years ago. But it's interesting because they found the remains of all these incredible creatures there, monkeys, elephants and lions, and I think it's quite interesting to think about this island and us as islanders, but also our geological underpinnings being related back to, connections with Europe. And I guess all of the work in the show has a relationship with this kind of grey area between land and water, and about the inhabitants of that grey area, and kind of speculating about the mystery of that sort of in-between place. What we have is some work in there which is first of all related to the eel, which is a creature, it's a fish obviously, but it's a creature which is really full of mystery and surprise, and it's a creature that also legitimizes storytelling. There are 3 sculptures in the main space, and they are all vaguely based on the designs of eel traps, or as they're called here, eel bucks, and they were the kind of permanent traps that were installed in the Thames River. Eels have been a kind of staple diet for humans for thousands of years, and there's a particular relationship with the Thames estuary and with London, especially at Billingsgate Market. So these kind of traps, which, even though they're made of steel, I wanted them to have a sense of basketry to them as well, and of very much handmade and hand sort of constructed feel as well. Essentially, I developed a kit which is just a kind of elaborate Meccano set, which allows for a kind of subtle adjustment, but also it's very versatile, and you can manipulate shapes very easily. But all of the lengths also are kind of 2 meters, so it's kind of an expanded size, which is closer to the size of a human being in a way. So it's sort of upscaled in a way.
So it's like a human trap, really.
It becomes a kind of human trap, yeah, exactly. It's not really important that people recognise them as eel traps, but as part of in terms of the backstory to the project, that's really where they came from. It's a relationship for me with the shapes, first of all, with this projection and the sculptures, but also the provisional nature that I was just describing with the tape and the bolts, and this sense of it just being placed like this, but the possibilities are sort of are more expansive than that. And this flattening of 3 dimensions as well is also something that I see as important with these works, which I hope become almost like drawings. The steel becomes a black line, and you start to confuse that sense of depth of field. No, it's a pleasure. It's required to lift 4 tons. So my plan, as developed over the months, was to hang 4 tons somehow from this beam. And I knew about water weights already. They'd been part of research that I'd made. And they have a kind of nautical association because of the colour and because of the design, and the fonts, and they're also very interesting in that it makes a really tangible. First of all, the weight of this material and the quantity of that material, and they're so sculptural as well, given that they're just off the shelf kind of industry standards in a way. But yeah, so there's 4 tons of water essentially.